Hello and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 17th of January for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect this week before diving deep and sharing in forensic detail for each of the 12 zodiac signs what is in store. So this week begins with a very potent full moon in the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer is governed by the moon. So the moon being here is, if you like, in its home birth. But this opposition with the sign of Capricorn is very marked because in Capricorn, Pluto, the planet of change, is very closely tethered to the Sun, and therefore the moon's in an opposition to Pluto as well as the Sun. When the moon and Pluto are in the mix in an opposition, that can create a polarization, and it can be quite difficult to find a balance. Now the moon's asking us to stay mindful as we punch our way towards our goals, ambitions and targets, very Capricorn energy, and very much the physical world. The Cancerian energy is reminding us that we must stay in touch with how it feels, and if something feels not so comfortable, even if it's given us some form of success or progress, just to try to reconfigure things so things are a little bit better aligned. And this energy will last for the next 2 weeks. If you'd like to know more about the full moon, you can join me for my deep dive video by seeing the link beneath this show. But all this week, Mars is actually forging a very positive link to Pluto, so we have a semi-sextile, and that's very energizing. Mars continues in the sign of Sagittarius, but there's 3 of the more draining, enervating vibe of Neptune, which really was affecting it quite badly for the previous 10 days. So I think energy can generally be a lot better. Also, Uranus has gone direct. Uranus has been in a very jagged, abrasive right angle with Saturn, and the great news is as the Sun moves on Thursday into the sign of Aquarius, the right angle between the 2 rulers of Aquarius, traditional Saturn, modern Uranus, actually stretches out to 4 degrees. Now when I do the sun sign forecast, I always take into account influences within 3-degree orb. So that's a very precise influence. So they're starting to stretch apart now, and they really have caused immense impact over the last year and given us quite a few sleepless nights, made us more agitated, perhaps seen us quite frustrated by the restrictions that may have been imposed upon us. But now things will ease a little bit. But the Sun moving into the sign of Aquarius joins up with Saturn, but also with the retreating Mercury, still in that retrograde. So the Sun moving into this area can mitigate some of the snags that Mercury in Aquarius in retrograde can create. So if there has been some tensions around friendships, or perhaps we just haven't heard from someone, perhaps we've been preoccupied with those more worldly aims and ambitions, then what the Sun's saying is that it's very important to stay joined together with others. Now as the week draws to a close, it's the Sun's turn to be in a semi-sextile, but this time with Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, has only recently left the sign of Aquarius the last 3 days of last year, so it moved back into its home zone of Pisces, but it's actually beautifully aligned to the Sun as this week draws to a close. So there may be some good news that we're not expecting. Perhaps someone we haven't heard from for some while is going to be in contact, or a good deed can come in our direction, or perhaps it's going to be us who does something more altruistic for another person. This is also a week when Venus, the planet of love but also of loot, forges a very promising link with Uranus. If this rings a bell, it's because Venus is retreated in its retrograde to the point of reactivating its 120-degree enabling trine with the rather erratic energies of Uranus. But this is just saying to us, look, if we can think outside the box when it comes to our resources and perhaps also our relationships to try to enliven them with some freshness, then that's a smart thing to do. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. You can also get your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning by seeing the link beneath this video. Or if you'd like to order your 12-month forecast and get your character analysis based on your personal astrology, you can do so and get 30% off by seeing the link below. But please stay with me for your in-depth zodiac sign forecast. Hello Pisces, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 17th of January. Now, it's nice being in demand, but that old maxim of we can't keep all of the people happy all of the time is one that you're going to be really conscious of over the next couple of weeks. Because of course this week starts with the full moon, because the potency of Pluto next to the sun and opposing the moon, if you feel in some way obliged to go out and meet people or have a friendship where there are certain leverages, or you feel in some way manipulated, even if the other person's not trying to be unkind, you're going to want to break free of that kind of stuff. Now, Mars has been conflicted by your co-ruler of Neptune recently, but this week it's freer, and it's actually forging a terrific link with Pluto. So your future plans can go forwards as long as there isn't those politics inhibiting you. And also Jupiter, your ruler, your traditional ruler in your sign now, is forging a fantastic link with the sun. So there's a lot to go for this week. That Mercury is still tracking backwards in your 12th house can see you thinking very deeply about what you want from situations, and being joined by the sun in Aquarius as the week draws to a close suggests that if you do need to take that part of your nature to heart and just have a few moments of peace, tranquility, maybe some healing music or some meditations, or if you can where you are, go and have a treatment, a therapeutic treatment of some kind, walk in nature, just give yourself time to download some of the recent excitement and energy that's been buzzing around you, then do take it. Now, Uranus in your third house has been affecting your nervous system in the last year. That goes direct Tuesday, but it is still squaring Saturn. By the end of the week, they're prizing apart. That's a very good news story. So if you've experienced a lot of sleepless nights, anxiety, worries about past events or legacies or people, you're going to start to feel better from the end of this week onwards, but you do need to give yourself permission to let go of some stuff and to embrace that more Neptunian side of your nature. Pisces people are very complex. The archetype is that you're very giving, sacrificing, caring to the nth degree. All absolutely true. But also you can be very detached and cold if you don't feel something's working very well. So you're being asked to integrate yourself as this week draws to a close. Make it all come together and connect to the people who really appreciate you the most.